The most anticipated movie probably in years, The Dark Knight Rises. Was it fantastic? Was it good? Did it live up to everyone's expectations? Let's find out in the movie review. Alright guys, this is big. I went and saw it last Sunday. It was pretty freaking fantastic. Now the first question you're probably going to ask is, Josie, did this movie live up to The Dark Knight? Well, I gotta say, yes and no. Here's why. I think that with The Dark Knight, there was a lot of circumstances that led up to that movie because of Heath Ledger and because of his passing that gave that movie a different sense of mystery and probably a sense of darkness that this movie probably just doesn't have because of the real life situation of what had happened. Also the fact that Heath Ledger was of course very iconic in that role and that nobody ever suspected that he could pull something off like that, and of course he did it amazingly and actually won an Oscar because of it. Now on the other hand, you have this movie, The Dark Knight Rises, which is, I think, pretty phenomenal because I think if you discount all the things about The Dark Knight in that situation, this movie by itself stands alone. It is phenomenal. Christian Bale is fantastic as always. I liked him more in this movie than I did in The Dark Knight because in The Dark Knight, I feel like the deep throaty talking, I'm Batman, that was just like over the top because I think he was trying to overcompensate because of Heath Ledger in his wacko-ness. So I think it was a little bit more balanced. It was really raspy and like in The Dark Knight, so I think it was better done in this one. He did a beautiful job. It was fantastic. Michael Caine is fantastic as always. He makes me cry. Anything he says, he makes me cry. I teared up when he's doing his lines. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Anne Hathaway. All right, here we go. Let's do it. Anne Hathaway. I kind of have an issue with Anne Hathaway, but not in this movie, interestingly enough. I find her extremely annoying in her movies. I mean, really, really annoying. Because most of the time she's playing a very innocent person that's like, oh, I don't know what's going on. Drives me nuts because I don't buy it, okay? But in this case, she's basically kind of a semi-villain, which to me works. It works well. So I actually didn't mind her as Catwoman. I thought she did an excellent job. Okay, so now we move on to the villains, of course, which is, Joker vs. Bane. I think it's just a matter of taste, really. Now, if you didn't know this, I love Tom Hardy. I think he's fantastic. He was in Inception, which is one of my favorite movies. He was also in another movie called Rock and Rolla a few years ago. That's a fantastic movie. You should go pick it up if you haven't seen it, because it's awesome. But anyways, he wears, Tom Hardy plays Bane, and he has this, gas mask type, almost like headgear, but not. And he wears it the entire time. So a lot of, the acting, the expression and everything is through his eyes, which, of course, he's a fantastic actor, so it comes across well. He does have a bizarre accent, which it's funny because a lot of people have told me, they're like, well, some people are like, oh, it's fantastic, it was scary, I was terrified of him because of this accent and the mask. And with other people like me, I was kind of like, I don't necessarily buy it. But I love Tom Hardy, and I still think that he did an amazing job as Bane. It was intimidating, it was scary, it was all out. The action sequences are phenomenal in this movie. It's beautiful. It's breathtaking. So you just want to take it all in. I did not see it in IMAX, but I heard that it is even more amazing in IMAX because a lot of it was shot on IMAX cameras. So if you have the ability to see that experience in IMAX, definitely go do it. I know that I might even go see it a second time, and I'm going to try and see it in IMAX because it's awesome. There are a few twists in this movie. Towards the end of the movie, I didn't see it coming. I did pick up on it, even though it was subconscious. I would just tell you there's a twist, but look, there's a part where there's a child and he's in prison, and this child is trying to get out of this pit. Look at who is fighting around the child. Just do that. I'm not gonna tell you anything else. Just do that. It was funny because I did recognize this person, but at the same time, I didn't connect any of the dots. I was just like, I don't know, I don't understand. But I figured it out later, which is good. My favorite part of this movie was Batman when he's in the pit. Yeah, he gets in the pit. That's not too much of a spoiler. I think you see that Now, you do see that in the trailer, so it's not a spoiler. But when he's in the pit and he's trying to get out, and the crowd, or the prisoners, they're chanting. And they have this chant, and it was funny because a lot of people on the internet, they have all this talk about what they thought it meant and all this stuff. It's ridiculous because they tell you what it means in the movie. It means rise. And it's just a chilling moment where it's just like all this intensity about him trying to get out of the pit, and it is awesome. Overall, I thought this was an epic movie. I thought it did live up to expectations to a certain extent, even though I think people's expectations got a little bit out of control, so keep that in mind. But it's an amazingly phenomenal movie. I would definitely recommend to go see it. My rating for The Dark Knight Rises is definitely 5 out of 5 stars. I thought it was fantastic. But now it's time for me to hear from you. What did you think of the movie? If you haven't seen it yet, go see it. Come back, tell me what you thought of it in the comments. And if you haven't already, please add me on Twitter or on Facebook. Yeah. Alright guys, that's it for me. I will see you in the next video.